finally, after being pre-ordered for like almost 12 months and all the delays, put all that aside, the Star Trek Ascendancy player expansion sets are here. I'm going to do a quick unboxing video so that you can get a quick look at what's in each of them. First one I'm going to do is the Ferengi Alliance. So, okay, top thing is the rules for the Ferengi Alliance. Just a quick pamphlet as such. The main thing that it goes into sort of explains things like the Ferengi, how they work, the trade agreements, which work slightly differently with the Ferengi to the other races, and the new diplomacy tests mechanic, which applies to just the Ferengi explanation cards, as well as a few other sort of bits and pieces. You have the Ferengi card. As you can see, it's got a much bigger section to keep all of that production, or profit as the Ferengi call it. And there's a whole bunch of these cards which have new space lanes and all the extra sort of pieces you're going to need for your new production, culture, research and ascendancy. We have some new planets and phenomenon. Just look at those quickly, go through there. That's an interesting one. Lots of production on that one for the Ferengi to get stuck into. There's some more here. And then finally the last few, which are the ones that's got the new phenomenon. The black hole looks particularly nasty. But if you can get in there and you've got the shields to brave the hazard, you're pretty safe probably. Return Nebula, no shields can be used. And then the final one, which has got all your command tokens, extra warp stuff, and your Ferengi Narboard and star bases. Then we dig into here, and we've got a bag of control nodes. We have a bag of ships. We have another bag of ships, the fleet markers, and the command console, and all the various nodes that you're going to need. Also, we've got 3 packs of cards. So you've got the Rules of Acquisition, which are they're the Ferengi version of the research cards, but they've just kind of themed them for the Ferengi. We've got the fleet cards, and we've got the other cards here, which are to go into the exploration deck and the trade agreements. So we'll just open this quickly. Go through these. Here we go. So there's a new command phase card, same as all the other ones. All of the Ferengi fleets are, if I remember rightly, yeah, they've got 7 as a maximum fleet size for their sort of standard fleets. They're loss interdiction task forces. And then on the other side, there's the Commerce Enforcement Squadron. That's the one that can move into areas with rival ships. Then there's the Market Penetration Convoy, where they can connect extra space lanes beyond the maximum number allowed on a system. And finally, the Franchise Establishment Flotilla. These ones are the weird ones. They're the ones that are going to make a lot of profit for the Ferengi player, where you can drop off ships from the fleet to gain profits, and the trade agreements as well. Trade agreements for the Ferengi work a little differently as well, which I'll get to that shortly when I get to one of the cards. And just open up these Rules of Acquisition. So again, the Rules of Acquisition cards, these are the tech advancement cards basically, but as you can see, they're all themed with various rules of acquisition. So rule of acquisition number 23, nothing is more important than your health except your money. So when 4 or more of your ships are destroyed in a space battle or an invasion, take 2 production. Most of the Ferengi cards are all to do with production, as the Ferengi can't generate any culture by themselves. They can buy it for production. So they start an advancement is during resource generation, gain 1 production for each rival controlled system with Ferengi ships in orbit. Again, making things like the Franchise Establishment Flotilla very interesting if you can get a load of your ships in other people's systems. And again, yeah, the trade agreement, this kind of works. I mean, why would people want to let you put your ships in their systems? Well, it's because all of the Ferengi trade agreements look like this, which is during resource generation, take 1 production for each system you control with Ferengi in orbit. So if you can persuade somebody to allow you to put ships in orbit around their planets so that you can gain from this card the Ferengi trade agreement that you give them can also give them the same benefit. So it's profit for everybody. Which, let's face it, that's what the Ferengi are all about, right? There are new exploration cards in this deck as well. There's only a couple. Most of them are to do with basically, they're all to do with production again, evoking trade agreements, that sort of thing. But then there's these new cards, which are ally cards. These go into the exploration deck. If you draw one, then essentially you roll this number at the top here. You roll a die, add your ascendancy. If it's equal or above that, you get to claim the ally. And as you can see, the Rigelians, it's a trade agreement. So when you're gaining all of your trade stuff at the end of the turn, you get to gain a production or research. And there's various races, different species. They're not all like that. There are a couple. The Grand Nagus, for example. You take 2 production and pass the card along. So basically the Grand Nagus, once he's in play, he kind of moves around everybody. Everyone gets to share the profits, but you also have to allow Ferengi ships to freely move through your sectors while you have the Grand Nagus card. The Ferengi arms dealer as well, he's a bit different. Where again you can use production instead of research to upgrade your weapons. But when you hold this card at the end of the build phase, so at the end of the maintenance phase, you pass it to the player to your left. So again, once he's in play, he moves around. Everybody gets a turn. You can kind of predict when he's going to get to you. Make sure you've got loads of production to do that. And then there's the Ferengi researcher, who's exactly the same, but he applies for upgrading shields. So that's pretty much it. Quick overview of all the stuff in there. Can't wait to give the game a go with them all. And yeah, we'll see how it goes from there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be also uploading another video which will just detail the Cardassian expansion. So yeah, go and check that one out. Thanks a lot.